Aries, welcome back for your May reading. Had to think there. Now, if you're wanting to make a booking, you can actually go to the link that will be directly below. There is a gift shop on the website, and there's also various means of payment. Now, if you're having any dramas, just inbox me on the website and I'll do my best to give you a hand. Now, these readings are going to be pre-recorded due to the fact that my modem, I think, is broken. So I'm going to have to sort that out tomorrow and hopefully everything will be back to normal. I'll do the twin flame video live, but it'll be directly off my phone because it's going to chew the credit. And these ones will be pre-recorded with the lagging internet. Now, you've got some interesting energy coming through, you guys. You've got quite a few things. You do have some energies around you that are quite toxic at the moment, and a frustrating situation. For many of you, it will be directly connected to family or family members, and it's almost like you're being pushing shit uphill, so to speak, and it's just like you keep doing the same thing. You have tried different ways to directly address the given situation, but you're just feeling as though you're not having that forward motion, so to speak. Now, this will either be in your workplace or family, but it is a particular area and you'll know where it is. It just feels a very frustrating energy. Now, during this shadow period, what you're going to find is we do need to be super cautious about the way in which we deal with this adversity. This has been moving through from February with the retrograde. And, you know, it is easing off. We're definitely adjusting to it, and a lot of purging has actually been done. Now, many of us might have had trigger points from our past or wherever that block directly comes from. Now, this can be connected to childhood. So the best means to actually process how to deal with that trigger point isn't to go back and revisit it, although if that's necessary, that will physically happen. Now, that can be karmic-related relationships, karmic-related dynamics, revisiting old habits or habits that we haven't purged and really indulging in them quite heavily. So this can be eating, drinking, dieting, drugs, alcohol, gambling, you name it, and a band-aid effect. You know, this can actually come up in a trigger point. Also, a physical person or physical energies can come back in a sense where we have to, again, directly deal with that energy. Now, we very much will be reassessing whether this given situation is relevant for us today and how we're going to directly deal with it so we can have that forward motion. Now, naturally speaking, when something evolves, when we process it, we feel physically it goes, but this is a heavy block. So that's really what we're revisiting at the moment. And that would have been worked on probably from March, April, May, but very heavy so in April, where many people would have done a 360 and it's like, gosh, what's just happened? Now, in a justice-related area, you may feel there is an injustice happening around you. This can be at work or in your romantic sector, but it definitely feels there's an imbalance and you're noting it. You're definitely feeling it. It's really frustrating you. But I do feel it's directly connected to family or a romantic interest. Now, you are trying to be very fair and balanced, but you're trying to state the case within the family what your status is. But you really shouldn't have to get to a place where you feel you have to fight for that. But it sort of feels as though there is going to be an injustice where you're fighting for your position within your family or your love life. And that situation's really frustrating you. You may go into hermit mode to meditate upon this further. But it does feel as though it's an energy where you have thought about it for a great deal of time, and it is really, really frustrating you. You do feel as though you really have learned as much as you physically need to, and you've applied different ways to deal with it, but no matter what you're doing, it's just not coming up trumps where it's changing. Now, again, this can be romance, it can be employment. This is the general section of your energy. Now, you're having faith towards your future of what you're wanting to do. Many of you just feel like you're working all the time. You're working way too hard. And you've come to a place where you're thinking, is that all I'm defined by? But it feels as the most relevant energy in your life at the moment where it's boding the best. So you just keep applying your energy to it. It can be that it's affecting your health. And again, like I said, we can be getting to a point where habits and eating habits are coming through where we need to balance that. So it might be, you know, you're dieting too much or you're not dieting at all. But it's just like complete, when I say that, it's either left or right with that, good or bad. Now, there can be a lot of arguments around you. A lot of arguments and frustration, trying to move this situation to a changed equation. And a lot of people gossiping and really hurting each other emotionally and physically. Now, this energy this month is directly connected to ego. This would have been from mid-April moving forward. So we do need to be careful. Are we coming from a place of love and truth, or is it coming from a place of ego? And many of us are going to be very triggered. Now, it can be children in this equation, or it can be that you don't have enough time to actually go out and have fun and nurture yourself because you're too busy working. You're really questioning what your happiness is, and you're really wanting to focus directly on your heart. This can be heart-related issues, and when I'm saying that, I mean heart-related love. Obviously, if you're feeling unwell, first point of call is the doctor, but it's more heart chakra, so it can be pain from the past, emotional pain from the current 3-day. You might also be thinking about past tense pains and failures in love. Now, you're visualizing what you want for the future, and this whole process of emotions you're going through is helping you release the past, nurture it, be it good or bad, and release it in order to move forward. And you are open then, after that purging, to be open for love. Okay. You need to have a holiday. Okay. Because you're being so busy, it can be that your health is being affected. And it's because any ailments you might be experiencing, if you're working too hard, you're actually not going to notice them. And I'm sorry for the beep beep, it's Skype. Also, again, another health card, and it's in reverse. You know, you're either doing great or you're doing bad, but something in health-related matters feels as though you're not paying attention to it, and it's really drawing you to. If you feel you're in great health, and, you know, the purging process can actually impact you too. If that's the fact, you need to pay attention to that area. Every card's about health, but it's in reverse. So it's either, like I said, you're physically doing great or you're physically not. Pay attention to any signs. Try and meditate on this. Okay, most are attracting their less than wellness by default. So it's almost like you have a benchmark of expectations for yourself, and you believe a certain kind of benchmark is all you deserve. Maybe it is time to physically go back to the table and actually process the dynamics of past tense energy, and whether that benchmark is high enough or whether it's too low. Yeah, it's really impacting you. Try and create your own weather. Okay, this card is about, I can practice my story with my physical well-being. So if you are not energetic enough and you're going to climb Mount Everest, how are you going to do that? So again, it is about health. Your health is really under the microscope at the moment. Okay, we'll look at your romance. Now again, this is in general for my romance. This is a general romantic reading. Again, it's due to time constraints on the internet, but the videos will be different again next month. I tend to gauge the videos depending on the energy of the month and how to directly apply the energy to it. Okay. Now, you're tired of thinking of something. You're really tired of going back over old ground. And you're coming out of an energy where you're going to, you know, be up in your head. You know what you want. In the romantic sector, it's you're in or out. And you do know the frequency of what's going to be correct for you in a romantic connection or with the current romantic connection you're in. Now, something in a sense you feel isn't coming together. And again, remember we're purging. So if that's relevant, it might be the dynamic there, not necessarily the actual relationship. Oh. Also, one situation or the way in which it's being handled might be getting a bit old and rusty, and you might need to change it up a little bit. But there is an aspect of falseness in this, like you're trying to put a brave face on, or your partner's trying to put a brave face on, however this directly relates. Now, if you're waiting for this person to come, and it might be you're thinking, hey, am I kidding myself? What's going on? Again, remember we're in a shadow period, and if you're really stuck on it, please do book a reading and I'll try and help you through it. You're also not even fussed right now, and again, it may be because you're focused on your health or your work too much, because work is a very heavy energy coming through for you guys. But it might be the actual band-aid you're using to avoid certain dynamics in your life. Now, your physical energy is you don't want to bring something together. So it might be that you're just not applying the energy directly to the connection because you are too busy working or purging, whatever you want to call it. And it's not, you're not wanting it to move to the next level. And again, this might be due to health or due to work commitments or time frame. Again, May can be a very iffy time of the month to try and get any forward motion, but definitely clarity is going to come through in this month. It's not, yeah, and again, it's not even about anyone else. It's directly about you, what's going on right now, not so much the external, although you might be manifesting something in. Now, the energy here is that this person is mature. So this can be you're wanting someone who's mature. And again, it's not that you're wanting them to have financial assets. It's that you want them to be a solid character, a solid emotional character who is going to love you for who you are, not your assets. And you also want someone to make room for you, which is an aspect of perhaps what you're feeling this person is willing to do for you if you're currently in it. So it can go two ways. It can be that if you're in the relationship, this person is wanting to do that with you, but you directly are focused on work at this point. But again, your purging can come through you focusing on your work. And I do feel that's a relevant energy for you guys, where when you're really meditating, when you're really thinking, it's like you'll apply your energy physically to something to keep your mind off it. So I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you guys soon. I will be doing the twin flame video live soon, but I'll have to do that off my phone. Look after yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon.